So today our class is going to be on setting wellness goals for 2022. I have a two-sided form that has 22 statements which are inclined to help you stay on track to achieve optimal health if you choose to do that. So the way this is set up, I've numbered them 1 through 5. 1 through 5 is a self-grading system. 1 is an F, 5 is an A, and each category is to be graded separately, and then you add up the total for the at the back to see what kind of overall grade you get. And as I've told you before, the goal is to get at least a B. So I recommend for the sheet, because you can use it over and over and over. Don't circle a number in the box. Just write a number in the column that we can use it over and over again without changing the form. So the first one is set up to prepare you in part for the following day. Remember when we were primary kids, we used to sing the song about Saturday? Saturday is a special day, it's the day you get ready for Sunday. Well, I'd like you to use that same concept and think of getting ready for bed tonight as preparation for tomorrow. If you go to a rah-rah motivational seminar, they will tell you that tomorrow is the first day of the rest of your life. Well, that's true. So think of it that way. So when you get ready for bed, you want to prepare for tomorrow. So number 1, I choose to be in bed by 10 p.m. to allow for regeneration, remodeling, and reconstruction while sleeping. Now, those words are accurate if you're prepared to get a good night's rest. The body does most of its healing and repair and regeneration during the night, especially when you're in the REM sleep. When you're in the REM sleep, that's the time that you're dreaming. And if you're not dreaming, you're probably not getting the regeneration that you could if you were. So if you need help sleeping, we use the product REM, R-E-M, to help you develop and maintain the habit of getting into a deep sleep. It does not make you tired the next day. It does not have a hangover effect. And one thing to remember is about nighttime. Each hour is not the same value as each other hour as far as benefits of repair. You will repair better early in the night, like 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. You do more repair then than you do later on in the night, so early in the morning. So remember that. If you go to bed at 12 o'clock at night, sleep to 8 o'clock in the morning, it's not as valuable as going to bed at 10 and getting up at 6. Why? That's the way the world is set up. The world is set up, human beings are designed to sleep at night.
Does that have to do with the inherent circadian rhythm and the rising and setting of the sun?
That's exactly what it is related to. If you want to buy a pet, buy a chicken. And when the chicken goes to bed, use it as a sign it's time to get ready for bed. Now, in a class this week, I was asked, how long does it take to get ready for bed? And one lady told me, she said, it always takes me about an hour. And I said, well, that's probably about average time that it takes to get ready for bed. And you all have different procedures and protocols that you go through. We'll talk about a few. Number 2, my sleep posture is neutral and well supported. That's very important. I had a lady last week who came to me and said she had a lot of neck pain. And then night she woke up and would work on her neck. And I asked her, do you have neck pain when you go to bed? Oh no, it always comes in the night. Well, to me that was an easy fix because it's a problem with the pillow. So we had a discussion about the pillow and the body posture. She had a bad, too high of a pillow that reversed the neck curve. She slept on her back, which is okay if you have the right minimal support into the neck, but not the head. But she had both, the neck and the head, so she re-injured, re-traumatized, I call it repetitive micro-trauma, every time she went to bed and slept on her back. So we modify the pillow, the neck pain will go away. Plus I showed her some neck partial exercises to enhance the motion of the joints in the neck. Number 3, before arising, I enjoy a few minutes of active self-care to put my body into optimal alignment with motion. That's where we do the active self-care. If you need one of the handouts, you're welcome to take the handout to give you exactly the exact instructions on how to do the active self-care, which means the sacral slide, occipital release, the microcranial mobilization, the nasal spread, the thoracic roll, or whatever you need. It takes less than 4 minutes to go through the whole thing to accomplish that. And if you're doing it on a routine basis, like almost every day, then you can give yourself a 4 or 5. If you're not doing it, then give yourself a 1, or don't give yourself any points at all. Number 4, as I prepare for bed, I release all negative feelings. That's the windshield wiper principle in the book. So if you haven't read it, review the windshield wiper principle. The idea is to clear off any negative feelings, negative thoughts, negative emotions you may have developed during the day. I personally like to do that when I'm getting ready for bed. I like to soak in the bathtub, a nice hot water with bubbles. I lay there for 15 minutes or so, give or take a few, and clear my mind and forgive everybody for everything and any negative thing I've done, any repenting I need to do. That's when I start. Our son Andy told me a story about his son Sterling. He said, "Dad, I've tried to live my life so that I don't have to repent every night, but today I did some bad things, so I need to repent." I thought that was funny. Number 5, now we're up in the morning. I ate a healthy breakfast loaded with good fats, proteins, minimal carbohydrates. A lot of you who are interested in good health are in the habit of having a smoothie, or fruit smoothie in the morning. You start your day off with a high carbohydrates. Some of you put seeds, nuts, and a few other things. But as I stressed before, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. You need a lot of fat, good fats, a wide variety of fats. You need good protein and a small amount of carbohydrate. And the breakfast cereal that I've recommended is a very good base to start, to add, to give you a quick, easy to fix, easy to clean up breakfast. If you were doing that on a routine basis, score high. But if you're having a smoothie, a fruit smoothie, that does not register as a good breakfast. close but not good, so maybe a 3. Number 6, I drink small amounts of water frequently to ensure appropriate hydration. You know, if you go to the hospital, almost everybody who goes to the ER gets an IV. Why? Because almost everybody, with that exception, is dehydrated, so they need to add water. Not a rainstorm, not a typhoon, but just small amounts of water frequently. I recommend usually somewhere between 3 and 6 ounces. 4 or 5 is a better range.
Can I share a win?
Often, yes.
A win with that? I focused on doing proper, adequate hydration a lot throughout last year.
Yes.
And always in the morning, I would also add real salt. And from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, I increased my body water percentage by 6%.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And as you bring that point up, they've shown that if you have a 5% dehydration factor, your brain functions significantly less, 40 to 45% less efficient if you're 5% low on water. That's a big, big deal. Thank you. Number 7, I choose to snack or graze between meals moderately. Moderately is generous. I recommend you try to keep it minimum, because the human gut is not designed to be fed. It's designed to be fed, process, clean out, repair, get ready for the next meal. So keep that at a minimum. If you're grazing and not eating regular meals, give yourself a 1. That's a bad thing to do. Number 8, I enjoy 20 minutes each meal to adequately intake nourishment, chewing each bite thoroughly, frequently laying my utensil down. The alpha which controls the amount of food you want to eat, is controlled not by calories, not by volume, but by time. And the research has shown about 20 minutes is an ideal time for any size of body. So I recommend you think about the 20-minute window to eat whatever you're going to eat. If it's a small volume, eat slower. Number 9, maintaining upright, neutral, balanced posture is important to me while sitting, standing, and walking. Now, a lot of people don't think about that until we do an assessment. When I take a picture of you walking down the hall, it's been called the walk of shame when they see the wobble and the imbalance. In fact, today I saw a young fellow who's 20 years old who came to me with a bad groin problem. When we had him walk, he wobbled. He walked down with almost a significant limp. And it was because of an old injury that turned his pelvis. So to him, he hadn't thought about that concept of being neutral and balanced. Same when you sit. If you sit in a car slumped, you watch TV slumped, if it's in bed, if you're not neutral, with the spine on line, it costs you energy. You waste energy. Number 10, moderation is important to me as I respect tissue tolerance turnover and tissue tolerance with a focus on retraining new tissue. Now, the concept there is we can't repair the old damaged tissue. Tissue that has had an injury will always be weaker. Today I saw a lady who hurt her ribs pretty bad, and then they started to heal, were almost healed, and she went out and shoveled snow. So she had an injury over an injury, which makes it much harder to heal because we have two problems now, and she's weakened it. So for her to heal, she has to be very careful and allow time to train the new tissue. So as the new tissue grows in, proper breathing, proper posture will be important for her, or that compound double injury she had to her ribs will affect her for years and years and years, because the old tissue will dominate. Now, we could talk about moderation in your thinking, being moderate in your study, but moderate in your diet. The word moderation and tissue tolerance is a key factor for long-term wellness. Now, when I say tissue tolerance, again, think of the triangle for holistic wellness care. All three are important, not just structure. Number 11, I support my microbiome. That's the zoo within, the life that is in the small intestine. They take in supportive probiotics and enzyme. The product Flora Plus is excellent to help reestablish the microbiome, and people don't know that the small intestine is one of the basic foundations for the immune system. So when you have an antibiotic and you kill off a lot of the friendly flora in the gut, you weaken the immune system, so it needs to be built up and strengthened. Enzymes are the only thing you put in your body that actually does something. Enzymes are active, they're alive. When I think of enzymes, I think of the Pac-Man. They go around and they do things, and they come in live foods in season, and you can also buy supplemental enzymes like in the product digestion. Are there any comments or questions?
I've heard a lot of discussion recently on the microbiome and how when it's out of balance it can alter the brain function quite a bit. Like the brain and the gut are tied together 100%.
That's exactly right. And there are people who do mind therapy, like psychologists and counselors, who, if you go to them, the first thing they treat is the gut. You have to have healthy gut flora for the mind to work properly. And personally, I think that's one of the big problems with students who have difficulty learning, or older people who have brain fog, dementia, Alzheimer's. Those kinds of problems are always affected by the gut. Thank you. Number 12, understand and support my DNA and stem cells with salts and herbs. As you talked about salts helping you with your body, salts will help stabilize blood pressure. It will help all cells of the body, because individual cells, each of them in the body, have what's called DNA. The DNA are what are technically the adaptogens, the parts of the cell that cause the cell to deal with the stress. And they are not powered by sugar, fat, protein. They're powered by minerals, micro minerals that you get from real salt. Not table salt, but real salt that comes out of the ground, like the brand Real Salt, Celtic salt, that kind of stuff. And herbs help strengthen the whole body. When I use the word herbs, think of the herbs you have in your kitchen, in your cupboard, that you use sometimes for seasoning. I recommend you use more herbs in your cooking to give more unique flavor, more unusual flavor, even bitter, because they help your body in ways that won't get helped just by eating the routine restaurant menu. Number 13, this is tricky. I use my back feet for standing. That's the back 1/3 of the feet. We've talked about this in class, how the foot is designed where the ankle comes down into the foot, and the back foot includes the outer 2 toes. When you stand for a long time, that's where the weight belongs. And then when you walk, you use the front foot while walking and running. The front foot includes the inside of the foot and the front three middle toes. If you stand too much with the weight on the front foot, you develop pronation, you develop plantar fasciitis, you'll develop tight neck, low back, because your body is tilted forward and it wants to be balanced. That's a very important thing, and it takes retraining to get you back there. Number 14, I maintain an attitude of gratitude, knowing that health comes from above down and from inside out by divine design. It's not the lotions, the potions, the pills that we put on the body that heals us. All healing comes from within inside out, again, by divine design. Like I've told you before, when your body came as a baby, you were like a computer that was programmed with many, many different programs to keep you alive. But most processes in the body that maintain life happen automatically by divine design. They were put there by God, and they help you. And the more thankful you are for them, the better they work. The more you realize and accept that, the more value they have. Number 15, detox is a part of my routine as I repent, do enemas, and soak in water. So that's pretty self-explanatory. The repenting has to do with the mind, the spirit, your emotions. The enemas help clean the liver. The liver is spelled L-I-V-E-R, live, or when the liver goes bad, you're done. Yeah, so, and water is God's gift to the world to clean the world. Water cleans everything. I've said to you before, the solution to pollution is dilution. The best thing to dilute with is water. If you're not doing that, not detoxing on a regular basis, give yourself a low number. Number 16, if you have a T-zone, I keep it in a convenient location and faithfully use it daily. The T-zone is one of the best investments you will ever make in your health, because in your home you can get all of the exercise you will need to maintain a healthy body. The T-zone is inexpensive relatively. It's very convenient to use. You only need to use a short amounts of time, 3 to 10 minutes, a couple times a day. You can do whatever you need to do to maintain a body that's buff like mine. Okay, now number 17. I understand that manufacturers, merchants, and marketers are an energy drain. Now, marketers, you could put the word fake news. Merchants, you could use the word politicians. And manufacturers, those are the ones that come up with the ideas that have a tendency to destroy you. You could put the word devil. So give some thought to the trickery that's around us in all kinds of media. Number 18, as I teach and serve others, I am replenished. I believe the concept that if you can't teach it, you don't know it. So I recommend as you go through these classes, you learn the material, you ask the questions, you review, and then you share. When you share the things you learn to help people become more healthy, you will become more healthy on your own because you get replenished. And the more you teach them, other people, the concepts that you learn, the more you'll understand what you're taught. Number 19, I choose to do what healthy people do because I am getting better and better every day in every way. Now that's an affirmation that I recommend you use. If you do it now, when you do the sacral slide, accept the release, when you're doing your self-care, when you're laying at the top relaxing, when you're saying your prayers, you get in and you use the phrase, I am getting better and better every day in every way. And you can thank God for the ability to do that and give yourself a good number. If you're not, start doing it. Now, the idea with the sheet is to have you see where you are now, and if you want to become better, determine that you're going to do better, and determine which ones you're going to do better in. You want to raise your score. I recommend you not be a paranoid. Don't get hung up and try to be an A student all the time. Just be a B student. So you want to get a pretty good grade, but you don't want to fail. Most people that I associate with are probably C or less. And to get them to a B or high B takes a long time because they have to change a lot of ways, a lot of things to do. Number 20, I accept responsibility for my health and depend on the divine within me to handle routine survival functions. That's what I mentioned earlier. The survival functions are a gift to you from God. They came with you, they're built in your body. They work automatically. And if you truly, really have accepted the responsibilities for your health, which is not survive, health is different. Health is 80% or more. Survive is 70% or lower. You don't want to be lower. You want to maintain health. To do that, you have to do the things that healthy people do on a routine basis. Number 21, I enjoy the benefit of regular napping the day before, underline this, before the energy reserves are being spent. I have a lot of people who come to see me whose number one problem is fatigue. They don't get enough regeneration time in bed. They don't take a nap. I can tell you many stories of patients who having a nap in the daytime has changed their whole life. Everything works better when they have a nap on a routine basis. I recommend sometime between 11 and 2, and I recommend you go get into your bed. Don't try to do it on the sofa in the kitchen or in the living room or watching TV. Just go get into your bed and try to get into a REM sleep. You know you're in a REM sleep if you're dreaming. That's what you want to do. You want to have a nap that's deep enough and long enough that you dream. Now, in class this week, I had a lady tell me, I enjoy my Sunday nap more than anything. Why? Because she has nothing she has to do, so she lays down and have a nap. She can enjoy a longer nap because of that. I recommend you set a time period and you do it when you can. I recommend you try to do it at least 3 or 4 days a week. If you can get 5, maybe 6, that's a high C or B. Number 22. My plan is to live at an optimal health level and to die healthy at home. So I give you permission and encouragement not to get sick and die, but to be healthy as you can be. Be like the candle. I talk about it in the book. Be like the candle with the flame. The flame is, when you light that tall candle, it's pretty and nice tall flame. The flame should be bright, right down to the end, and then quickly go out. You don't have to be sick to die. You can be healthy and just be done and go. So, are there any questions or comments that anybody would like to make today? I appreciate you being here. I hope this helps you to have a happier and healthier new year. If I recommend you give this some thought. Now, if you're paranoid, you could do this sheet every day. If you want to get a good B, maybe once a week. If you want to get a C or a low B, maybe once a month. Review these concepts often and engage with each of them the best you can to try to get a higher score. Thank you very much for being here.